Hey there, Mike. It's kind of rumbling the jungle out there, huh?
Yeah, man, it's some storm. I hope we just got going today. I hope we don't lose power and the show goes down.
Yeah,
That
we
would
haven't had
kind
it
of
happen
suck.
yet. We both live in areas where our power lines are underground, so with any luck, we won't lose any power tonight. But if we should happen to just out of existence, it's because probably Mike has been
Right.
slammed with the. If I just disappear off the screen, that's no big deal. Mike and Steve will take over.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, let's get on with this show. We're gonna do a short one tonight, Mike. I don't think you're gonna get this one. It's funny, but I don't think you're gonna get it.
Oh.
All right. Dirty dick hands. And I will give you a hint. I will give you a giant. No,
Did
I'm
you
gonna
want
give
me
you a
to
giant
show you, or you just wanted to know what it is? Because I mean, I could. No, what?
hint. It's not sexual whatsoever.
Whoa. Huh. Okay. I mean, you said you'd give me a hint. I don't want to.
That was
leave.
the hint.
What? That it's not
You
sexual.
can rule out you can rule out any guess that would be sexual in I mean, I guess it could be because you could do anything could be said, but it's not like overtly or anything a normal person would consider sexual.
You wanted to keep this short. I'm going to take a stab in the dark here, and I'm going to say dirty dick hands would be like some bastard who goes into the men's room and pees and doesn't wash his hands and leaves. That's dirty dick hands.
Ding, 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 ding! Right out the gate.
Oh,
yes,
man!
When a guy finishes,
like I said,
when a guy finishes using a urinal, zero fucks given, exits the bathroom without washing his hands. I saw Bob walk out of the bathroom, then high-five Tim with his dirty dick hands. All right, man, let's do it. All right, the end is nigh, but worry not, my friends, for when the rapture comes, you'll still have the MythWits, the show dedicated to all things geek pop culture, drenched in absurdity and coated with sarcasm. Every week, we bring you the news and interviews from the Geekoverse. We do our damnedest to be funny, but as you can already guess, there are no guarantees. I'm your host, Peter Bryant, and joining me this week is my co-host, Michael Kafis.
Pete, it is actually not even nigh 30, so we're good.
Okay. All right, fantastic. Also joining us tonight is Stephen Wallet.
What's up?
And Hans Cummings.
Or Hans.
Or Hans. Sorry, Hans.
That's okay. I get it all the time.
As long as it's just not dirty dick Hans, right?
Right.
Oh, he did it.
Sorry. So anyway, Hans is the author of the fantasy series, The Foundation of Drak-Anor. Oh God, I tore that up, did I? Drak-Anor.
Drak-Anor. Yeah.
Drak-Anor. Okay, and Scars of the Sundering, as well as Zack Jackson science fiction series. 2 of his short stories appear in Fear the Boots, and I want to talk to you about that. Sojourn speculative fiction anthologies. Hans is also a volunteer for the tabletop gaming industry ENnie Awards and serves as their submissions coordinator. And Hans, later on after the show, I'm going to send you a check for that. No, I'm kidding. So anyway, Hans, welcome to the show. And then, of course, Steve Wallet of Blasphemy. Are you still going by Blasphemy Press, or are you Nerd Rage?
Just News? Nerd Rage News these days.
Okay, Nerd Rage News. A great blog that covers all things kind of geeky like we do. So Steve wanted to come on. He's got a Kickstarter going on. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I with Brian being out again, actually Brian's got a good reason this time. Brian got called in to do a recording with some more anime stuff.
He's doing the voices.
Yeah, he does with the voices, so that's cool. So I never like to get in the way of that because that's a real fun, awesome gig for him, and it's his dream. So anytime that comes up, we give him a pass. So Steve's going to help us out while Brian is doing his thing. So
and I brought news stories for him too.
Oh, did you? Excellent. We have a newsman. Fantastic. Sweet. All right. So Hans, so you are a writer. Now, do you do any gaming stuff at all? Well, I know you're involved in the industry in some facets of it.
I did a few freelance things for Wright Publishing, back during the days of third edition. Well, actually, it was during when Wright Publishing was doing things to support Monty Cook's Arcana Evolved.
Mhm.
I did a few freelance things with them, but nothing major. It's just there's a few books if you look in there that my name will appear.
Okay.
But really, I haven't written a whole lot of game-related things because game mechanics tend to give me a headache. So I
Totally understand.
yeah, so I'll play games and I'll run games, but writing for them is not something that I've really gotten into.
Right. Yeah, I didn't realize how so I knew you came on I think you came on Cube of Death, right? Was it, I believe?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And I knew you were a writer, but I didn't know that you were involved in gaming in any way whatsoever. I mean, it makes sense, being a science fiction writer and all, and fantasy writer. But then I saw you at GaryCon, and then when I got your guest form that you filled out, I saw that you're involved in the ENnie Awards. I'm just like, whoa, wait a minute, this guy's connected in gaming in some ways.
Yep.
You're involved, so that's cool. We have a big gaming audience, so that's like the bulk of our audience. So that works.
Hans, what's your favorite game that you like to play?
Oh, it depends on my mood. Right now, we're playing 5th edition D&D, which has become, well, I don't know if it's really my favorite edition yet. It's because I spent a lot of time growing up playing like AD&D, 1st edition, 2nd edition. 5th edition really kind of hits all those buttons for me more so than 4th edition did, or even 3rd edition Pathfinder.
Yeah.
But I've also enjoyed Fantasy Flight Star Wars system.
Right.
I'm still on the fence whether I like that more than West End Games D6 Star Wars. Because that system I kind of knew frontwards and backwards and could come. I had what they call system mastery of that system. I could just come up with stuff on the fly that would work because I played it so much. So those are probably my top 3. But I've played more games than I can count, and almost every game I've been able to find enjoyment if I'm with the right people.
Yeah. That's like our group. Right, Steve? I mean, we
Absolutely.
play everything from Time Lords to Savage Worlds, which are two opposite ends of the spectrum. Mike's favorite game, Time Lords.
You should come join us, Mike.
It's his favorite game to hate because it's got all these charts and shit in it, right? So character takes damage. He's like, yeah, you take 14 points of damage. Okay, let me write that
14
down. No,
divided by 2,
14.
square root of 4 is 2 points of damage. What?
Right. And it hits you in the head. Oh, okay. Now roll a d10 to see what the actual damage was. Now that we've determined what the
multiplier
damage was
of the headshot of the hey.
I think I've played that
Glaven.
game.
And then roll another d10 to see when you're going to actually die.
Right. It's a BTRC game, right? BRTRC.
BTRC.
Yeah. Okay. BTRC. Right. Anyway, so Hans, you have some albums, some novels that you have put out.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking was your first one The Foundation of Drak-Anor?
Yes, Wings of Twilight and Iron Fist of the Aurochs were my first novels. I kind of wrote the first Zack Jackson novel either right on the heels of Iron Fist or like right between the two of them. Those all 3 kind of came one right after the other.
Okay.
So I started with the fantasy, then switched to sci-fi for 3 books. I intended to do do fantasy, then sci-fi, then fantasy, then sci-fi. That didn't actually work out. When I look at my publication history, it's like, oh, I wrote 3 sci-fi novels in a row and no fantasy in between that time. That's not the way that was supposed to work.
Right. Oops.
Yeah.
So did your fantasy fans give you any grief for taking so much time off from the first book to write these other books, or?
No, because since Wings of Twilight and Iron Fist of the Aurochs, which comprise the series, The Foundation of Drak-Anor, they're a complete series, just the 2 of them. I did something different and didn't write a 3rd book. Wings of Twilight was a standalone story to begin with. And during the editing process, I came up with an idea of how to continue the story. So then I wrote the 2nd book. So the 2 of them together, there's nothing beyond that, or there wasn't anything beyond it. So nobody really said, when is the next fantasy novel coming out? Because I kind of wrapped everything up.
Okay.
So then when I went and started writing Scars of the Sundering, it takes place in the same world with some of the same characters, but it's like 5 years later.
Okay. And they're not really to do with each other. It's not like a sequel.
Right. I mean, if you read Foundation of Drak-Anor, you'll get like some backstory for some of the characters, and it's kind of like history of the world state for Malediction, but you don't need to have read those other two books in order to get the story.
And so what are they basically about? Like, give me a synopsis, your elevator pitch for
Foundation of Drak-Anor, it's basically about a city of monsters trying to make the rest of the world see them as just another city in the world rather than a destination for self-righteous people to come and kill them.
Okay.
It's like a big game.
That was quick.
Yeah, a lot of people consider it, describe it as a reverse dungeon crawl.
Like a big game, Jurassic Park kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you get into a lot of that give you a lot of opportunity to write about, acceptance and being able to like take things that people don't view normally as something that you would look at and be fair with, for example, like deal with racist issues and stuff like that?
Yeah, the Foundation of Drak-Anor is very much about acceptance, not only acceptance of other people accepting you, but accepting yourself. Okay. Because a lot of the characters kind of grew up with the idea that they were monsters to be killed, and that was kind of their lot in life. And some of them had to come to terms with, well, no, there's more to life than just being a target, and we have to. And then so I kind of built on that for the second series for the Scars of the Sundering, which is Malediction, Lament, which I just sent off to my editor yesterday. And then Salvation is the third book. And all three of them are written. I just haven't published all three of them yet. And that series is very much about responsibility. So now that they have their city and that they're part of the world and they have like trade agreements with neighboring towns, what is the responsibility that they have? They can't just go and do whatever they want and expect there to be no consequences to their actions. Right. So some of them have to pay for mistakes that they made like 20 years ago now.
I see. Okay, that's cool. So do you like all right, so hold on, let me rewind. So I'm assuming you like writing that kind of stuff and thinking deep like that. Do you let that drive your story, or does that become part of your story? Is it kind of organic, or do you really try and say, I want to tackle these issues, or does it just kind of happen?
It kind of happens. I start with kind of a bare bones, I want this character to do this in this story. And then the themes kind of appear based on how the characters grow. When I set out to write Wings of Twilight, I intended it to be kind of a lighthearted, farcical, sort of a spoof on like labor unions and stuff. I mean, I had contemporary names like Gary and Bob and Joe, and it was going to be, basically satire. And then I forgot to put a lot of jokes in, and when I got to the end of the story, I was like, wow, this kind of got serious, at least more serious than I was intending it to be. I mean, it was supposed to be like nonstop. It was just a joke thing. I didn't intend to take it seriously. So then I had to go through and I had to change almost every character's name to make it more in tune with like a serious fantasy world.
Because no one's taking Bob and Joe and
I mean,
Jimmy.
Yeah, if you have a Minotaur named, Bob, and actually, I think Bob was the Golgothrun, which is basically my world's version of an Otyugh. Okay. His name was Bob, and he went around eating garbage. He was the garbage man. So I thought, nobody's going to take that seriously, with the rest of the themes that I've developed in this story. So I better give him a different name. So I went back to the edition of D&D I started with, and I named him after the evil wizard that killed the cleric we all liked. I named him Bargle. Okay. Oh, cool. Very cool. So that sounded like something that somebody who would eat garbage would name themselves.
Right. So you've got the two books, and then the Scars of the Sundering. How is that? Is that a three? I'm sorry. Is that a 3-book?
Yeah, that's a trilogy, and that was planned from the start to be a trilogy.
Okay. All right. And you said you've got the 3 books written.
Right. Yeah. The first drafts. Malediction came out at Gen Con last year.
Okay.
Lament. I wanted to have them like all done by Gen Con of last year. That didn't happen. That was a little ambitious. But I had all of Malediction written. I got that published for Gen Con. I had probably 95% of Lament written by Gen Con last year. Due to some things I changed in revisions on Malediction, I actually had to go through and rewrite the beginning of Lament. So I got that finished, and I got Salvation wrapped up in November of last year. So it's just sitting kind of collecting dust while I get book 2 finished.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have? Are you going to take that series any further? Are you going to take a break from that series for a while, or?
Well, that series will be complete. I will go back to that world at some point. I do need to write a 4th sci-fi novel because I do have people asking me where's the 4th Zack Jackson book. I'm like, yeah, these 3 fantasy novels took a little bit longer than I intended.
Right.
Because Malediction lived up to its title. It was a curse. Everything that could have gone wrong in my personal life did while I was trying to revise that book. My wife's mother died. My stepdaughter got married. My mother had to have surgery. It's like, oh my God, can I get a break so I can get this damn thing done?
And not to say that the marriage was something that went wrong. It's just something that interfered from the perspective of writing a book.
Right. Things just kept getting in the way.
Yeah, I got you.
Because there's only so many hours in the day. And if you have to, go hang out at the hospital with your mother because she just had her hip replaced.
Right.
I could take the laptop, sure, but you really don't get a whole lot of work done in that kind of environment unless she's actually zonked out on drugs. And my mother seems to be very drug resistant, and you can pump her full of stuff and she'll still try to interact with you.
Right. The exact opposite of my mother.
Yeah.
So you were saying Zack Jackson. It's a nice little segue to Zack Jackson. Tell me about Zack Jackson. I know that's a younger audience book, right?
Right. I intended it for younger audiences because there weren't a lot of, to my knowledge, a lot of sci-fi novels that were not only intended for young audiences, but were also trying to be kind of accurate and hard sci-fi. So I decided to make it as hard sci-fi as I could with like 2 caveats, which some people would say, well, this takes it completely out of hard sci-fi. I did give them faster than light travel, and I did make humanoid aliens that people can relate to. Right. Everything else, the science is as accurate as I can understand it.
Right.
And I do have an associate's of science degree in biology, but astrophysics is not really my background. So I go to a lot of university websites and listen to a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson podcasts, and I try to do my research. And you'd be amazed how many calculators universities have for figuring out things like orbital period and the gravity of a celestial body with a certain type of radius. And
nice.
So you can actually get this information if you want it. I don't know how accurate those are because I don't have the background to be able to go back and do the calculations by hand. But
you know how accurate they are? More accurate than you could do.
Yeah, they're more accurate than I could guess. I mean, you figure if it's something like caltech.edu, that the stuff on the website is going to be fairly accurate.
Nice. So, Steve, let me get you in on this one because I know you've thought about this before and read some stuff on this. And Hans, you two, the 3 of us, because Mike's a big dummy head. He doesn't know. Mike might know. I'm kidding. So, I've read some of the theories. Going back to the aliens that look like humanoids. Right. I've heard a theory put forth that the reason why we are as intelligent as we are and we have all the things that we have and sapient thoughts and such and the level of self-awareness that we do is because of our shape, because of the things that we have. Like if we weren't built this way, it's possible, and we only have one example, but it's possible that is the way you need to be to have that level of cognizance. Have you guys read any of that before? Because I've read that. I can't remember where I read it, obviously.
Yeah, I've read very similar stuff. If you look at octopi, they are supposedly as intelligent as we are, if not more intelligent, but they have not developed any type of technology as we have because they've had no reason to. There's no evolutionary response that's requiring them to develop beyond what they are.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. An octopus tastes way better than we do. Just saying.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that.
Hey,
or do you know that?
Code word jiggle. Pete, code word jiggle. You're gonna noise again. I know. I love you too, babe.
Dude, I don't know the tell you. It's not my mic.
I know.
It's my connection.
Jiggle your connection or something.
Okay, done. All right, so how bad is it?
It's
You kind of sound like a cyborg.
How about now? Is that better?
We'll see.
I keep turning the freaking bandwidth down here.
Yeah.
There, how's that?
Well, you look beautiful. I'll tell you that.
I bet I look awesome. How's my sound?
No, not good at all.
I don't have to tell you. Mike, take over the show.
Turn it up. Turn it up. Maybe go back up. Maybe that's the problem. Is you actually got to have better sound.
All right, what about now?
All right, so
there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's just messed up. So
connection. It's comedy.
Yeah.
I can drop out the call and come back in.
All right, give it a shot. Give us something to talk about because I know my octopus tasting better part is
okay.
Well, I got something for
okay.
Hans,
All right.
So
okay,
you'll be good. All right. So anyway, my grandson is reading the Cytherian Academy right now. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, Cytherian. Yeah.
He has been running around screaming how he's going to go to Mars and he's going to be a ranger and explore the planet. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool when Pete sent me the stuff that it was going to be you because I was just looking at the book this week.
Did you get a physical copy of the book or the ebook?
He has a physical copy he got from the library.
Oh, really? It's in a library?
It's in his school library.
Oh, huh. Wonder how it got there.
Probably
really
a donation.
Yeah,
oh, that could be. Yeah. So he did not get one of the cool Junior Ranger patches.
No, he never saw the patches.
I may be able to get one without. Let's see. It's a little warped because if you iron these patches, they shrink. But I had patches made.
Oh, very cool.
So that, and when people buy the books from me at like Gen Con, I give them the patch so they can be an honorary junior ranger.
That's awesome.
So I may have to send him one because I have hundreds of them.
That would make his day. Absolutely. So he is, since you were just saying you haven't written the fourth book yet, he is looking to read the third book now. He's talking about it. That is not at his library. So where can he go get one?
The easiest place is on Amazon.
Okay, fair enough.
You can buy the print versions there, and then I'll also have them at Gen Con. Well, I'll have them wherever I make an appearance. So Gen Con and then Conquest over Memorial Day is the next, like my next appearance will be in Kansas City. I could be persuaded to give them away for free barbecue if somebody brings me barbecue at Kansas City. You heard that here first. Bring me barbecue on in Kansas City, and you might get a free book.
So, Steve, are you going to Gen Con this year?
I will not be going this year, but I do plan on going next year.
All right. Well,
yeah.
So, but anyone at Gen Con can still bring you barbecue as well, or only in Kansas City?
No, because I live here in Indianapolis, so if I want barbecue, I can just fire up my smoker in my backyard and make my own.
See, where we are on the East Coast, firing up your smoker means something entirely different. So,
yes, it does.
So, how's my sound now?
Much better.
So far, so good. So, take advantage of it.
Cool. All right, let me get it while I can. All right, so you won. So Hans, you won the Nuvo's Best of Indie, Best Local Author, third place honoree for 2014 and 2015.
Yes.
What is that award?
Basically, it's a Nuvo is an alternative news magazine that they have here in town, mostly for like the art scene, clubs, that kind of thing. Although they do some other articles. So every year they have a Best of Indie contest where they do like Best Local Author, Best Brew Pub, Best Burgers, just hundreds of, probably 100 categories.
Right.
So people can nominate you. You can nominate yourself, which I make sure I always do, because if I'm not going to nominate myself, who's going to nominate me?
Right.
And I try to get as many people as I can. It's like, if you want to nominate me, here's where you go to do that. And then they do a voting, and I don't know how they tabulate the votes. I assume it's just a popular vote contest. So people can vote once a day, and that's the entire month where I just spam people. It's like, go vote today. Don't forget to vote today. Please vote today. And so far I've gotten third place 2 years in a row, which for a genre author in this town, I think is pretty good because you may have heard of the #1 person who always gets #1. It's John Green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Hate
it's hard
that
to
guy.
compete with John Green.
Right. Right.
You know, he's a popular YouTube personality, and
Yes,
you know he's
big
had several
time.
movies.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
third place is pretty good with that competition.
But that's for like so that's not best local author sci-fi. That's period.
Yeah, that's just period. They don't break it out by genre.
Well, that is actually quite impressive. What's up, Mike?
What?
You said Pete.
No.
Oh, sorry, thought you did. All right, so sorry, I fucking totally destroyed the rhythm there. All right, so anyway, so you mentioned in your bio, Fear the Boots, Sojourn, speculative fiction, speculative fiction anthology. It's a mouthful. That's Fear the Boot, the podcast.
Yes.
So they're doing an anthology.
Yeah, they did 2 of them.
Oh, really? I had no idea this. I don't really listen to their show. Not that I like their show. I like those guys. I just, I only have so many hours and so many podcasts.
Yes, I understand.
It didn't make my cut.
Oh, jeez.
They have, I didn't know they did anthology. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They did. I think it started, they had a little, on their message board forums, they had a writers group that they were, and I was part of the writers group there just because I needed some people to bounce ideas off of, and I was semi-active in that forum, so I joined that writers group, and they decided they were going to take submissions and publish an anthology. So I got accepted to the first anthology, and then they did a second anthology, and I was accepted into that one also, and they were pretty good short stories. I'm planning on, since I now have full publication rights back, they kept those for a year. I'm going to publish those, republish them under my own label, for Conquest at the end of this month, so that I'll have something if somebody wants to buy a print copy of it, which they're just short stories, so I'll probably sell like both of them in one volume for like $5 or something.
Right.
It'll be something really cheap, and you'll be able to buy the stories by themselves for like 99 cents on Amazon.
Oh, nice.
At the
Okay,
end of the month.
that's cool. Now, do you do?
Like-
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying?
I was gonna say I don't think I can price them cheaper than that.
No. And you should.
Otherwise, I would.
You should. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. So do you do any audiobook of your stuff, or are you going? You think you might be doing any of that?
It's. I'm planning to eventually. It's expensive, and right now I work a day job to subsidize the publication of the books as it is, because I'll just give some figures. The Lament went to the editor yesterday, and it was just under 115,000 words, and I got a bargain at $600 for like copy editing and proofreading.
Okay, no, that sounds about right.
Yeah, since I already have somebody who does developmental editing for me,
Right.
and then cover art's going to probably run me like $300.
Right.
That's not too bad.
Hopefully, because that's kind of the deal I had worked out, but it's not on paper. So if she raises my rates, I can't really do much about it.
Right.
So yeah,
Give her
that's
a
almost
plug. Maybe you'll tell
right
her
there.
Tell her you mentioned her, the artist on somewhere. If anyone wants to know some art, and you gave her some free advertising. Well, who is it?
That's right. Well, I know she's still in school, so until Paizo snatches her up, and she probably won't raise her rates.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
But no,
that's happened to me
5300.
before.
So, Steve, you get our cover artwork done on some of your stuff. What kind of rates have you paid? Now you're Mr. Hookup, so this might be biased, or this might be slanted.
I think the best I've paid for anything has been $20, and the worst I've paid is $100.
Okay, Steve is Mr. Hookup. He the one book Jay Libby did, and I think he did it for free for you, didn't he?
Jay did both of the book covers for free.
Right.
But a lot of the other artwork I've been getting for dirt cheap. But I market around. I look everywhere.
I think the artists would rather maybe that you say you got it for dirt inexpensive, not dirt cheap. I'm just saying, it's a matter of perspective there.
All right, so Hans, before we wrap up this interview, I want to talk to you a little bit about the ENnie Awards, because I noticed that we only have a week left to nominate stuff, right? Is that correct?
To submit things, yes.
To submit things, okay.
Yeah, submission does not guarantee nomination.
Right, I got you. Okay, yeah, fair enough. And how does nomination happen? Is that a committee? Do you guys
Yes, there's a panel of judges. There's normally 5 judges. One of them came into a relationship with a publisher during the year, so he had to resign because that was a conflict of interest. So he resigned early March. So now we only have 4 judges, which is fine. It's too late in the year to get a new judge to expect them to read everything that's been submitted so far anyway. Mm-hmm. So the judges have been reading through all the stuff that's been submitted so far, and then they will come up with a list of what they think is the best of the things that were submitted this year by, I think, the 4th of July weekend is usually when we try to announce nominations.
Okay. And then, so for submission, you're the submission coordinator. So does that mean that you basically just oversee how submissions come in? And so like you're not one of the judges, right?
No, I don't have to read any of this stuff. I get a copy of everything because we use the extra copy for fundraising purposes. Right. Since we're an all volunteer organization, so all physical copies, we use them for like swag for volunteers and for a silent auction at the award ceremony. So I get a copy of everything, and it goes into my basement in crates all year and just sits there, and I keep it safe. And I make sure that the judges are getting their submissions. I am the liaison between the judges and the publishers, since the publishers aren't supposed to be talking directly to the judges. Right. And just make sure all of that goes. Any electronic submissions we get, like if people submit all PDFs, those come to me first, and then I distribute them to the judges. Okay. And then like things, because I notice there's one category for podcasts. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to mention any names of a podcast that might get submitted. But what are the qualifications?
Why don't you mention MythWits? Why don't you mention MythWits?
What? Really, you just have to have had a new episode during the submission eligibility period, which is between April 30th of 2015 and it's May 1st of 2015 and April 30th of 2016.
Oh right, man, right. See,
I'm assuming it has to be
have
game
more
related,
than one
right?
new one, so that's.
It doesn't have to be game related, but if it's not game related, your chances of nomination are practically nil.
Right.
You know,
I would imagine if it was some kind of like fantasy novel podcast or something that was like really, crazy good that was influential to other people, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. I mean,
or like if
tabletop got nominated and won, and it was, technically it's a web series. We had to put it in with podcasts because we didn't really have a category for, web video series.
Okay.
Maybe a podcast that, say, I don't know, promoted other games that are, say, I don't know, on Kickstarter and made $1 million, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Podcast like that. Pete, what do you think?
I honestly don't know what criteria the judges use for nominations of podcasts. I try to keep myself apart from the judges' discussions. I see some of them, especially if they get contentious, but generally I stay away from that because I used to have this idea that I could be surprised when they release the nominations, and that the last couple of years that hasn't actually worked out because I get to see the list before it's announced. It's like, oh man, it's all been spoiled for me.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, that's cool. No, I'm just the reason why I'm bringing this up is again because we have a lot of gamers who watch our show, and some of them may be designers and writers and such. And I think it's a good point to bring up. If you want to, if you want to submit your stuff for the ENnies this year, your time is ticking away.
Or if you wanted to submit a podcast, that you really liked, maybe.
Oh God, Mike, stop.
Just saying. What? Just saying.
Yeah, and that does something that is a misconception is people think that only the publishers can submit stuff. Fans can submit things. We just ask that they have like the publisher's permission to submit it, because some publishers don't want to submit stuff at all. Like Fantasy Flight Games has decided that they're not going to submit their products for awards. At least that's what they told me. I don't know if they've ever gotten an Origins Award in the last 3 years. I don't actually pay attention to the Origins Awards, not because I have a problem with them. It's just not one of those things that's really on my radar. But there are certain companies that say, we're not interested in participating. That's perfectly fine. So we ask that the fans get the publisher's permission and say, it's okay for them to submit it. And then if it's a physical product, the fan that submits it actually has to send out the 5 or 6 copies themselves, which we have a judge in Poland and a judge in Turkey, so that can be very expensive.
Oh,
Unless you're, say,
God,
emailing
yeah.
a link to a podcast. I mean, I'm just...
Right.
stop.
If it's electronic submission, obviously it's much less expensive. You just
I mean,
fill
I'm
out the
thinking of
form
any
and-
fans that may want to, send a link to of a podcast.
But it is also
MythWits.
perfectly acceptable for you to submit yourself if you
Yeah.
if you really want to have your name up on the website as a submission.
Yeah, just like the,
YouTube.com/MythWits.
the
What?
Parsecs, Mike.
Huh?
Just like the Parsecs, Mike.
Yes, it's an honor. It's an honor to be nominated.
Yep. Actually, I will say this: when we got nominated for Parsec, we didn't actually nominate ourselves.
Yeah,
That
we were
was-
floored.
That was nice. I got an email. I was like, "What? Somebody else nominated us? That's awesome." And we basically we barely qualified for a Parsec. Only in that we talk to science fiction authors and stuff, but it's mostly for science fiction authors. But they're like, well, it qualifies because you talk to them and you bring that news. There is a category for you. I was like, okay, we fit in that category.
A lot of small publishers find that the nomination helps their sales.
Okay.
The big publishers don't really notice the increase at all, but a small publisher like Jeffrey Tillanian for Astonishing Swordsman and Sorcerer of Hyperborea, I think I remember him telling me that he noticed an uptick on sales when he got his nomination. Zach Glazer of Lesser Gnome, he noticed an uptick on sales that lasted for several months from his nomination.
Oh, nice.
And
Nice.
now neither of these guys actually won an award, but they still reaped benefits from the nomination.
Right. And
What happens at Gen Con is a lot of people will go to the ENnie Awards booth and they'll grab the list of nominations and they'll go around the dealer hall and use that kind of as a shopping list.
Cool.
oh no, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I've never seen this game before, and
Right, and they want to check it out. So they go and find the booth where it's being sold at, and
of course, if it makes the nomination, it's probably not a bad game.
probably.
All right, well, that's cool. I want to mention one thing. You have, if you're watching the video of this, over Hans's shoulder is Tom Servo
Yes.
from Mystery Science Theater 3000. Now, is that a toy or is that a model you built or what's
That is. This is a fully articulated puppet of Tom Servo.
Oh my
Wow.
God, that's
That is
awesome.
very cool.
My wife bought this for me as a Christmas gift a couple years ago because I'm like, this would be a really cool thing to have. And last year at Gen Con, it's not Kevin Murphy didn't sign it, but
Oh man, that is
Trace
awesome.
did, the guy who does Crow,
Okay,
or did Crow during the Comedy Central years.
right.
So I got him to sign it because I was like, oh, hey, you're here. You can sign my Tom Servo. So he, wrote a smart alecky remark in the manner of Crow. So now at GaryCon, Stephen Sullivan runs a Manos Hands of Fate RPG game.
Right.
I have wanted to go in like a Deep 13 jumpsuit with Tom Servo and go heckle his game.
That's cool.
One of these days I may do that. Unfortunately, he's very difficult to travel with because, he's the size of a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes up a significant amount of space in your car.
Yeah. Yeah, but
And
GaryCon, that's just a drive for you, right?
Yeah, but my wife and I will cosplay at that convention.
Okay.
Now I didn't this year because I didn't have time to get anything really cool together. But like last year, I had a Fallout costume. I mean, complete with props. I mean, I had a laser pistol and like shoulder armor and everything. And all this stuff takes up so much room in the car.
Yeah, but
Strapping a puppet the size of a toddler in the car would have just been challenging. And when my wife goes to these conventions, she has to have an motorized wheelchair.
okay.
That takes up a lot of room in the car.
Oh yeah,
So
okay.
I
Yeah,
have to
imagine.
cram all of the luggage around that. So there's not been room for Tom Servo.
Oh, that's a shame. I was gonna say, you get the Dead Game Society guys to do some kind of Dead Space game or something. Maybe help me out here. What's the TSR? Damn
Star
it.
Frontiers?
Star Frontiers. Goddamn. Okay, I couldn't think of it. So yeah, Star Frontiers. They can do a Star Frontiers game, and you can show up as Tom Servo as one of the characters.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And speaking of Star Frontiers, if you people familiar with the Zack Jackson series may see some Star Frontiers references in those novels.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because Star Frontiers was like my favorite game from the 80s that I never had.
Right.
I played it like once or twice, and then the guy I played with moved away, and I could never find a copy of it. And for like 20 years, like, oh man, Star Frontiers, I loved that game, and I don't have it. I could never find it. So when I wrote Zack Jackson, the Valtraxian species is basically a slightly modified Brusk.
Okay.
I thought we need some sort of insect, and Brusk are cool.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to be friendly insects. So I actually have a sculpted statue of that character that I have at my table when I sell books. I had a local artist sculpt him for me. So for people who know who Ix is, I have a statue of Ix. And then in Zack Jackson, the Cytherian Academy, I introduced another alien species called the Rill. And the character's name, I did name this character Bob just because I thought it would be funny. And I figured since they are basically amoebas, they can't really communicate their names anyway, so they just take whatever name that somebody's going to call them. And they turn around these big environmental suits that look like Apollo space suits, and they have a voice box that translates what they say in a very monotone kind of voice. So I named this amoeba Bob, and they're basically like the Dralocytes, except the personalities are not the same as the Star Frontiers things. But I thought, yeah, I need an amoeba alien too, just because. Why not?
Just cause, right? Yeah, no, that's cool.
It'll
I
be
like
funny.
that.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you see
then
those guys walking around in these like Apollo like spacesuits, it's like, oh, that's one of them.
Yeah, and then to eat, they just lift up their faceplate and like pour themselves out onto the plate and suck it all up, and then
It's like a starfish.
yeah,
You guys know how a starfish eats? It's really creepy.
basically turns its stomach inside out, and
It's very Cthulhu-esque. I mean, they'll tear open like an oyster shell, and then they just pour their insides out into the shell and eat the thing, and then suck it all back up. And it's just like, this is why we left the ocean.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's why I don't eat starfish.
Right.
Oh, chocolate
So-
starfish are my favorite.
What's that?
Huh? Chocolate starfish. They're the best.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, on that note,
On that brown note.
You can find Hans's stuff at VFF Publishing. Is that your company?
Yeah.
Okay. .com. You can also find them on Facebook.com/VFF Publishing, and make sure to go to the ENnie Awards. That's ENnie-Awards.com to submit.
MythWits
I don't know.
podcast.
You can also find Hans on Twitter at HCC HC Cummings.
Right.
And Hans, is there any other links you want to give out?
No, that's just about it. Any other really important links you can find at the website, because I have links to Amazon there, links to my Facebook page, which I tend to update more than the blog on VFF Publishing, because I always feel like I should have something important to say on the blog.
Yeah.
And there's other writers that are better at writing about writing than I am, because I still have this complex from like, what could I really tell somebody that, somebody who's more practiced at it isn't already saying? Like if somebody's reading Chuck Wendig's blog for writing advice, they're probably going to get better advice than I could give them.
Right.
Or at least more entertaining advice, because his blog's very entertaining to read, and I tend to be a lot more formal in my writing style on my blog. So I don't know. I'm working on that.
Right. Practice makes perfect.
I will have previews of Lament up on my blog probably within the next couple of weeks. I want to get some stuff back from the editor before I start popping up any samples, but I'll probably sample the first chapter of it on my blog like I did with Malediction.
All right, very nice, very cool. So go check that out, everybody. So Hans, you are welcome to stay, but I know you got to get up early, so you're also welcome to duck out at this point if you would like.
All right, I appreciate that. Yep, I gotta go to work, and I gotta go and vote before I go work tomorrow. So because tomorrow's our primary
day for you. Awesome,
Yep.
Excellent. Yep.
All right,
Well, do
hey.
your civic duty.
I didn't know you had
Yes.
to leave early. I was just letting you know that the game that I had prepared this evening is Who Pub That, and it's but Pete and Steve will play it, but it's basically naming a game and finding or telling me who the publisher was. So
Oh, I'd kind of be like a ringer, because I have a closet full of them right there that I could open and nobody could see me cheating.
You just go. What was that?
I don't know. Pete,
Let me think about that.
Pete is kind of a savant at this. It's really strange, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think Steve's gonna give me a run for the money tonight.
I hope so. I picked some easy ones, some hard ones.
Steve knows his shit too. He's probably gonna beat me, I would imagine. But Hans, thanks for coming on the show. You know, you're welcome to come back anytime when you're ready to release your next book. You know, let us know. Right. You can come on and join us. Even if we don't have a whole show that we can dedicate, you can come on like Steve does every once in a while and just guest host with us, and then we can talk about it. You know, like we're going to do with Steve in just a minute.
All right, excellent. And Steve, if you can email me your address or something, I'll send a Junior Ranger patch for your son.
That'll be awesome. Thank you.
And then I think you can. Peter has my email address, so he can just give it to you.
Oh, all right, cool. All right, Hans, great
Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
All right,
see you again sometime.
Okay, bye.
Take care, Hans.
Bye. Okay,
Michael.
So Michael. No, wait. We gotta do Steve real quick. We gotta do Steve. So Steve.
Okay. All right. Fine. Let's do Steve first.
Let's do Steve. Why? What do you?
I'm drunk. I don't know if that's acceptable.
Okay. Well, no, it's actually that makes it acceptable.
Show us your brown star.
Oh, okay.
Between friends, come on.
Yeah.
No, all right. No, in all seriousness. All right. So Steve has a Kickstarter, and this is what do we call? What's the name of this Kickstarter, Steve?
The Lesser and Greater Seals of Cthulhu.
Yes. Okay. And this is and what you know what I'm going to do. So Steve, you can talk about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen because Steve has a bunch of artwork that goes along with this Kickstarter. So I'll just leave these here and kind of flip through them. And Steve, give us a heads up. What is this Kickstarter?
Okay, so as you see by the image that's on the screen, this is like an occult seal. And my idea was to take the Lesser and Greater Seals of Solomon, which is an occult book about summoning demons, and transform that into something that was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft and the various monsters of the mythos. So I found a guy named Brian Reagan, and he is an incredible artist. He's been doing pages for the Necronomicon for years and selling them on Etsy. And I asked him if he would be interested in designing these seals for me. And I gave him some guidance as towards the gist of what I wanted. But for the most part, I let him go at this how he wanted to. Once I had the seals in hand, I then contacted a coin company to have the seals made into bronze coins. So what we're getting, this is not one of the coins, but it'll be coins about this big.
Hold on.
Out of bronze.
Say this big again. No. I'm saying because I had the screen is on you now. Show the coin size. There you go. Okay.
And the coins are going to be made out of bronze with an antique finish, and they will be, one side will be the round circular seals that you see, and the other side will be the artwork that matches that seal. For example, the Cthulhu one that just popped up. We've designed them for 7 of the gods and for 5 of the specific cults, because we figure each of the cults should have its own seal to represent it. If we get enough money, we will design a 13th seal that will be designed for the backers to represent their membership into a secret society not yet named.
Wait a minute, we're already part of a secret society.
You're not part of this society.
Well, how many secret societies do I have to be a part of, Steve? I'm already a knight of the, what is it?
See, you don't even know what you're part of.
The knights that say knee or nigh something.
The Esoteric Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah,
But that's not a secret society. That's a knightly order. That's entirely different.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can I be a knightly order and in a secret society, though? I don't know if that's nightly.
Absolutely.
Or weekly, or I don't know. Jesus Christ, I'm confused.
Yes, absolutely. No, but Steve, you also have these the pictures that I'm sharing are actually images of physical sheets that he has. Now, Steve doesn't have one of them with him because he's at his work his shop right now, and he keeps these at home because he doesn't like to travel with them. But I've seen the sheets. I've seen the actual physical sheets, and they're really cool. So like, as you can see, these torn and burnt edges and stuff, they're really like that.
And also, what I have right now, Steve, is on my screen. I'm screen sharing to everyone the actual Kickstarter. So,
Okay.
everyone can see here, and you can see it on your screen too. I guess it's a little small, but here we are at the page Lesser and Greater Seals of Cthulhu. Right now, he's got 48 backers, and I want to get down to the important thing here. I need to know what the moolah is because I want to be a knight with a coin. So. So let's see, and just so everyone knows, there's 19 days to go. He is almost $6,000 of $15,000 goal with 19 days to go. So, we all talked about this when we were at TotalCon, and we thought it was an awesome idea. And if there's one thing that we can say about Steve Pete is that if he says he's going to do something, he does it. So
He just does it.
Yeah,
He's like,
I mean,
hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
I don't know. But
That's pretty much it, man. When you want something, you make it happen. You don't
That's
sit
true.
around and make excuses.
Steve, were we too encouraging? Because I know we were like, that is so cool. Were we overly?
Yes.
No, because, okay, well then you can thank us too. Because we had something to do with that because we were.
And Nino and Corey on the ride home were talking about this pretty heavily. It was just finding the right artist. That was the hardest part for this. But once I found the right guy, we made it happen.
So, Steve, why don't you? I'm right here at the pledge area. Why don't you talk about it for pledging $1 or more, 10 or more? Why don't you? Can you walk us through it, or can you see it enough?
Well, I can't see it because I'm on a telephone, but I know it for the most part. But I might be off on the number. So
I'll tell you what. I can go ahead and read it then. That's fine. So if you pledge $1 or more, and there's 3 backers with that, we'll say a prayer and thanks to some blasphemous deity to not be named. So you will, obviously get a thank you to a blasphemous deity, and I guess we shouldn't name that deity because I wouldn't want the one that I would want you to.
You can't say his name.
Yeah, you can't do that. So pledge $10 or more, and you get 1 seal of your choice. After all orders have been completed, you will get one of the leftover coins. We will pick it at random. And,
right. They don't get a coin of their choice. They get a coin of Steve's choice.
Damn, Steve.
That is correct.
You're worth more than that. You're worth more than $10 in my.
And actually, it's going to be a coin of my granddaughter's choice because she's the one who's going to be picking them out of the bin.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. Now pledge $18 or more, and you get 1 seal of your choice. Now, when you say seal, you do mean the coin, correct?
Yes, you get 1 coin.
Okay.
There's going to be 12 coins total to choose from.
Okay, and even if we pledge at that level, if you make the stretch goal, those people will get the 13th coin, or do we need to back?
The secret 13th coin will only go to people that buy a full set.
Okay, now that is the $25 set then, right?
No. That's the $120, $150 range.
Ooh, $150. That's a lot of money. Let's say I give you $25. You give me 1 coin.
Well, if you $25, dude, you get 3 coins.
Woohoo! Coins.
Now, dude, I don't know if anybody else. Oh my god, I don't know if anybody else is aware of this, but these coins aren't cheap to make. I looked at it for Studio 187 at some point back in the past. I was like, it'd be really cool to give out challenge coins, because I work for the Army, and I get challenge coins every now and then. Well, they're not challenge coins. What are they? They're not. We call them challenge coins, but they're
but these really will be like challenge coins. That's a company I hired to make them. Is a challenge coin company,
right? So I've earned a couple of these, but so I was like, oh, this would be really cool to give out. And I went and priced them, and they are not cheap. They are not cheap to have made. And they're good, solid, big, fat coins. I mean, I don't even know if I have any. Well, Steve showed you the one that he held up. That's a challenge coin, right? Yeah.
Yeah. $25 gets you 3 coins. $36 gets you two coins? 3 seals of your choice. So what is 3 seals of our choice? Got it. Jeez. Okay. So $25, they choose the coins. $36, you choose your 2 coins. $48, you get 3 seals of your choice. You know what, Steve? We've known each other for a long time, right? I mean, is there any way that I could, Never mind. You
Never
know what?
mind.
I am supporting you. I
Are
got
you
you.
Adrian on this show? Is this the Adrian show? Mike is Adrian show.
What do you mean?
Right.
Love you, Adrian.
So instead of reading them all, jump to the gist. Jump to the 120 level.
Okay. All right. 120 or more. I'm going to do 121. Early bird special. You get all 12 seals and are guaranteed first place on shipping.
Yes. So that gets the coins down to $10 a coin. That is your best buy that you can get on the entire Kickstarter.
Wow.
Yep. And that's a good deal. I mean, $10 for a challenge coin that's a fair deal.
That's right. And you know what? 29 backers. So that's awesome. And come on, you know what? I can't believe for anyone now who is watching and you already backed at the 120, you're already there at 120. You might as well just go $30 more, 20, 30, 40, 50, yeah, $30 more and get all 12 seals. What is that level? I don't understand.
It's the exact same thing, except you're not getting the early bird price. You're getting the regular price.
Never mind then. Jesus.
Jeez, Mike.
And then look, okay, and then there's this really expensive one that I put on there because someone asked me to. That if you have a group of a bunch of friends, like 12 or 13 of you all together, you buy the highest level. What is that, Mike? What price is that? $20-some $100?
Oh, 200, 220, 250. Jesus Christ, you have a lot of the levels here. $2,200 or more. I love how you say or more.
At that level, you're going to get 13 sets of coins, 13 copies of Blasphemous Cocktails. The guy who did the artwork for me will make an image. He'll do a piece of artwork for you, completely custom. You will own it. You can frame it. And we got another guy, this guy named Brian Gadula, and I'm probably screwing his name up terribly. He's a blacksmith, and he makes knives. I mean, he makes incredible knives. Just to give you an example, can you show me again, Mike?
Yes, sir.
This is a knife he made for me to use at work as my box cutter. Hand forged.
Huh.
He does really good work. Okay. And what he's doing is he's making Cthulhu heads out of bronze powder, and he's casting them. Wow. And they are incredible. I mean, these things you could kill someone with. They weigh about 2 ounces.
Nice.
So you'll get 13.
That's a lot of ounces.
Well. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot of ounces.
It's a hell of a deal if you have a group of friends that can go in with you on this. But I'm only offering that to 2 people.
Oh, you know what? I don't want to take someone else's spot. So
yeah, I know, right? My spot like that ain't right. I mean, being that we know you and all, it's not, because we're rolling in MythWits money, right, Mike?
We're rolling in MythWits shitwits or something. I don't know.
Okay, so the $15,000 is the amount that I need to break even. And that's why I set the money at that level. If I make just enough money to do the Kickstarter, including all the shipping, the mold costs, credit card fees, Kickstarter fees, etc., I should break even.
Well, we should hope.
Yeah.
Right. So I need people to go higher than that to make sure I can make a couple dollars,
Right.
Yeah.
For your efforts. Well, not only that, but then that way maybe you could even get some stock, and so that you could have these things for like events and stuff you could hand out. Or
that's what I would like. I'd like to be able to print up enough I could take them to conventions and sell them at the conventions.
Yep. That's always the hope. And you know what? You're a third of the way there. You got a ways to go. I'm gonna make a prediction. I think you're gonna make it.
Yes.
I feel pretty confident that we'll make it, but it at the rate that it's going, I think it might be tight.
Yeah.
Well, I'm backing it. I don't know how high I can go, but I'm backing you, and at least I'm gonna get 1 coin. And
I'm already in there. I'm already backing.
Yeah. So,
thank you. So I got I have another project. Can I tell you about my other project?
Sure.
Okay. Yesterday we made the announcement and we put up on YouTube the trailer for my latest movie. It's called Words. And I don't know how well you can see that.
Yeah, it's good. Real good. Well, it's backwards on the... Oh, no, is it? No, we can read it fine. Actually, yes.
Yep.
It's good.
Okay. And what Words is a movie, a documentary about how words affect us, how titles affect us. Like Mike,
Yes,
how
sir.
would you describe yourself in 2 or 3 words?
I like words.
You like words. That's how you would describe yourself?
No, I don't know. How would I describe? Seriously, how would I describe myself in 2 or 3 words? Fucked up funny. There you go.
Fucked up funny, right. Now, each of those words have different meanings to each of us. And that's what's so cool about this movie. They go around New York City and they talk to people about how words that identify us affect us, whether they're words about our gender, our race, our occupation, our religion, things like that, and how we need to use words to properly transform society so that we stop judging people based on the titles that are being assigned to them. It's a really cool project. Go on YouTube, check it out. It's called Words.
That's
Cool.
Hey, that's right. That's right. I took fucked up funny back. I took it back. All right, I'm just saying.
You know what I gotta, Steve? I gotta find. I don't know where it is. I have a school book. I took a class called semiotics, and this is very much semiotics. Talks a lot about this. So if I can find it, I'll give you the book.
I'd look forward to
It's
that.
a college text. It's took a whole class on it. It's really neat about the way words and signs, symbols, and just, you know, the way you look at people, the way people are dressed, how you communicate with other people, and not just the obvious things that you say, but like all the other shit that conveys messages. It was pretty cool class.
Very cool.
So, all right. So let's, Steve, you had a couple news items. Can we go through them real quick?
I have 2 news items.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Well, since we've been talking about Cthulhu and Kickstarters, the first news item is very pertinent to that.
Okay.
Many people are unaware that Chaosium almost went bankrupt, and we almost lost the Call of Cthulhu forever.
Whoa.
Are you guys aware of that?
No.
I heard something about that. I saw an article, something about them working their way out of the ashes. They got fucked up on a Kickstarter or something, right?
That's right. They did a Kickstarter where they had the international shipping at like $20, and with many of the people, the international shipping was costing them $150.
Right.
More than the actual product. You know, and so the Kickstarter made them over $500,000, and they were going bankrupt because of it, because of poor management and really screwing the Kickstarter up. And then they ran a second Kickstarter, and they offered for $1 shipping, you could add that original item to this Kickstarter too. So they got nailed twice.
Why would they do that? That's dumb.
Because they're idiots.
Okay.
Whoever was behind it is an idiot. So what has happened now is another company has come in, and they're helping Chaosium with all their debts. They moved everything around. They got all the packages shipped out, and hopefully Chaosium will recover from this, but they'll no longer be Chaosium as we've always known them. Now they're in partnership with a new company. I can't remember the name of the company for the life of me.
That worked out so great for TSR back in the day.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
Jesus fuck.
So
I just finished the Empire of Imagination. That is a sad fucking story, man. It's a good book. Sad story. Anyway, go ahead. Your next item.
Okay. So the next item is, on Friday, Netflix announced that The Punisher is going to be released as a Netflix series. They will be bringing back John Bernthal to reprise his role as the titular vigilante known as Frank Castle, who was introduced in the current season of Daredevil. Hannibal's executive producer, Steve Lightfoot, will serve as showrunner, writer, and executive producer. This will be Marvel's 6th series in collaboration with Netflix, and we can only hope that it's good, but I really have high hopes for it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, me too, man. He was so good in Daredevil. So good.
You goddamn right it's going to be good, Red.
You know, and I was a bit upset because when they cast him, I mean, I like him. I do. And he's a great Punisher. But I was like, you know, I'm a Thomas Jane guy. I love Thomas Jane as the Punisher, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. I agree. Thomas Jane would have been really nice for the role, but I think that John Bernthal did a pretty good job of it.
He did. No, he nailed it. He did.
He played it well.
He
Yeah.
did. I was like, oh man, but I'm like, oh, but okay. All right, I jumped the fence. I'm okay. All right, sorry. I I've defected.
Come on, man. We still love
he won me
Jane.
over. He was a great Frank Castle.
We still love TJ. TJ.
Yeah, totally do. And what I loved about that most was that they did not nerf the Punisher at all. Like I thought they were going to. They were going down that, PTSD route a little bit, and he's like, no, it ain't. That ain't what it is. Nope. He's like, it's not the war that messed me up.
Right.
He's like, and he didn't compromise at all. And the whole I was just like, oh, that's so that is the Punisher. That's the essence of the Punisher. He does not compromise. He's a lot like Rorschach in
Watchmen.
Watchmen, thank you.
Oh my God! I got one that you didn't get.
You got me once, right?
I got you. I mic'd you.
He's like Rorschach in Watchmen. He sees everything pretty much in black and white. You either are a bad guy or you aren't, and if you are, I'll kill you, and if you're not, there's no compromise. There's no, there's no hey, what if I turn to good? No, fuck that, you're dead.
No, he believes in death for an eye.
Right. It's perfect. Yeah, because he doesn't believe in justice. He believes in punishment.
Right. And I don't know if you guys are aware of it, the Defenders are also being made for Netflix.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's official?
That is official. And it looks like Daredevil is not getting a third season because he's going to the Defenders.
Okay, that makes sense. That's cool.
Help me understand this, because the term Defenders, I don't know, but you'll explain it to me and I'm like, oh, that. So, Defenders.
The Defenders was a Marvel comic series where Doctor Strange gathered a group of heroes to fight magical threats to the planet.
Right.
Now, how do you think that's going to fit with Strange getting his own movie, which they better not screw that up, and him going on Netflix? Because one of the things, one of the things I can't stand is when you get a really good movie role you like, and then but I really, you're torn between the role of who they do on Netflix versus the movie. So what do you think?
Well, according to Variety, the Doctor Strange movie is supposed to flow fluidly into the Netflix series, which is supposed to flow fluidly into the second Doctor Strange movie.
What?
So they're going to keep Cumberbatch for the series, right?
Yes, but he's not going to be a main character in the series.
Okay, and that makes sense because Doctor Strange, he's the head of that group, but he's like a Professor X.
That's correct.
He doesn't generally go on missions and shit with them.
Well, he did in the comic books, but then he kind of stepped away from it eventually.
Right. This could lead to a really cool, Hulk series or Hulk movie. Remember when Doctor Strange sent the Hulk into the other verse? That was a really cool series.
Right, into the Crossroads.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was
that's where we got Rocket Raccoon.
Was it? Oh God.
Yes.
Really?
I have that issue where the Hulk meets Rocket Raccoon for the first time.
Nice.
Oh, how did that go down?
It was kind of sing-songy.
Yeah, of course it was.
I don't want to know then. All right.
Kind of shy of a Howard the Duck story. All right.
Pete, I don't know how we're doing on time here, because I don't know what the hell is wrong with this thing where it says we're streaming and it's 38 minutes, but...
No.
It's 11:15.
Well, let's do... You want to do a game real quick, Mike? We'll cut this up into 3 episodes. It's cool.
That's fine. Okay, you know what? That'll be good. We'll do that. All right. Oh
yeah, Steve, where do we get your Kickstarter?
Duh.
What's that?
Where do we get your Kickstarter?
Where do you get my Kickstarter?
Yeah, where do we go? How do we get the Kickstarter?
You go to Kickstarter.com, type in the lesser, and just type in Cthulhu, and it'll show up. There's only 4 running right now with Cthulhu.
Steve, you guys stall for 3 minutes. I'm going to make you a Bitly, okay? I'm going to make you a Bitly link.
A quick link.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's cool.
Also, if you go on Facebook, if you look up Steve Wallet, you'll find my professional page, and there's a million links to it.
Okay, and then also, while Mike's getting your Bitly together, real quick, Nerd Rage News.
Yes.
You have a blog.
Nerd Rage News. Okay, Nerd Rage News is my trademarked blog, and we report on anything that I find interesting in nerd culture. I have a small group of people that will write random stories here and there, anything on technology, comic books, movies, gaming, Kickstarters, you name it. every now and then, even something political will slip in there.
Spell Cthulhu for me real quick.
Cthulhu.
Oh God, Cthulu, right?
You missed an H.
God, CT.
CT.
Yes.
HULHU.
LH. God damn it. I can't see so good.
So on
Mike,
Nerd Rage News is
What?
Nothing. I was going to slap Mike, but I can't.
I was gonna say Nerd Rage News. Well, it's right on your shirt, right? Is that are you wearing that shirt?
There, it's on my shirt, Mike. Look.
I'm busy.
so Nerd Rage News though is sort of like, it's kind of like an IO9, but with a kind of a different take, a different vibe.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of stuff about cosplay. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing that I do. We have stories about this great girl named Crystal Simmons that does she interviews some of the best cosplayers in Canada.
Right.
Unfortunately, I can't get her down here in the US to interview people, but maybe we'll get there someday.
Are we gonna we're gonna do that? We're gonna do a contest this year?
I would like to do another contest, but this time I'd like to do the contest at a convention.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to work something out there to do it at maybe one of the local conventions here in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, like the Baltimore Comic-Con would be a good one. They do a lot of
that would
cosplay
be
there.
excellent. Right.
Yeah. So that'd be good. Or is there any other one? No, I think that's the one. I think it's the one you want to do.
Well, it would either be that one or the Brony convention.
Oh
no, you could if you could get in with the anime one.
That one's been kicked out of Baltimore.
What?
They're
What
not
is
in
it?
Baltimore anymore.
what? Otakon?
Really?
Last year. Yeah. Last year was the last year.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
The Baltimore Convention Center was not big enough for their needs. They were
Right.
pulling in too many people and shutting downtown down.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, shit. So where'd they move to?
I think they're going to New York City.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, what was it? It was Otakon. That's what it was called.
Otakon, yeah.
Right. Poor Baltimore. Small-timore, as they call it. Too small to handle Otakon. Oh, it's silly.
Yeah, we missed our chance to mug all the people in cosplay.
Right. Well, there's all those hotels down there. I can't believe they couldn't spread it out through the hotels. I guess it was just because they were shutting down downtown was the problem.
Well, the hotels with conventions, they don't really work well together other than the Hilton. I mean, you have all those hotels down there that could be working with the convention center for making events happen at this hotel and that hotel the way Gen Con does.
Right.
Baltimore sucks at organizing that shit.
Jesus Christ. And we know a guy who Brian, our buddy Brian, works down at I think it's the Hilton. He's the guy that does like events and stuff down there. I should talk to him about that because I think his hotel was sort of a spillover for it. He said it kind of spilled over into his hotel, but like you said, they probably didn't work very well together.
Right. Well, the Hilton is the only one that works halfway decent with the convention center.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So, Mike, how we doing with that Bitly?
Oh shit! I fucked up again. So, don't worry. If you go, it'll be Coin Cthulhu. Okay. Bit.ly Coin Cthulhu. Because when I copied and pasted the link and made it Cthulhu Coin, it was like my page, and I was like, crap! So I didn't do the generic go-to page. So I'll make it Coin Cthulhu. But don't worry, I'll do that right after the show.
And it'll be in the show notes. But yeah, go back Steve's stuff. It's good stuff. Steve produces very good, and when he's quick too. Just like I said, when he makes stuff, he's like he just does it, and when his Kickstarter's done, he fucking cranks it out. He gets it done. So he's
And hey, anybody that's worried about getting stuff late, I've already got the molds ready to go. We are ready from the day that I get the money. 30 days later, I will have the coins in hand and be putting them in boxes.
Right. And this isn't some kind of newfangled mold that has to be made or anything. This is a company that does challenge. They do these things all the time. This is no challenge for them to do. No challenge for them to do. All right. So, Mike, are we ready to play the game?
Yes. Let's do this. Let's play a game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have two iconic idiot savants among us in the room today. Peter, the idiot Danilides, And
Dan Levy.
Steve,
What?
I mean, Jesus Christ, how long has that been? God damn. All right.
What's up, way back?
Take two. Peter, the idiot. Bryant, and Steve, the savant. Swallow it.
Swallow it.
Swallow it. Steve, swallow it. All right, swallow it. Okay.
Don't make me cut you.
Okay. So, gentlemen, this is what we're going to do. And Pete has had practice with this, but he seems to think that, Steve, you are going to, kick his ass, but I don't know. I have the names of a list of names of role-playing games that I have accrued this evening. I'm going to give you the first one. Actually, no, I'm not. Actually, yeah. Here's the what do you call it? The
teaser,
Christ.
the example.
Yes, the teaser, the example. Okay. Alternity. All right. Alternity. So, if I were to say alternity, it was your turn, and you guys should be able to say this together. It would be published by
White Wolf.
PSR.
Wow. Oh, I thought that maybe that was too easy. So, all right. Wow.
Neither one of us got it right.
No. Steve got it right. That's TSR,
Oh,
baby.
yeah? That was TSR. Okay.
Yes. All right.
I thought alternity. I thought. You know what I'm thinking of? Doesn't matter. I was thinking of something else.
Well, that's good. All right. So, for guessing that correctly, then Steve gets to go first. All right, Steve?
All right.
This game,
Okay.
your game is Slay Industries. SLA. Slay Industries. Who pubbed that?
Is that an actual game?
That is an actual game. Yes. I don't make these things up, everybody.
I haven't the faintest fucking idea.
All right. Well then, Pete, your chance to steal. Slay Industries. SLA Industries. Pronounced Slay.
You know, shit. I don't know. The Hero System.
That is
the guys make champions. Hero.
no. That is incorrect. Slay Industries, produced by. Let's see. Slay Industries, pronounced Slay, SLA, is a role-playing game first published in 1993 by Nightfall Games in Glasgow, Scotland. I knew that this was going to be a tough one for you guys. The game is set in the dystopian, far-flung future in which the majority of well-known universe is either owned or
hold on, Mike.
directly.
If we're going to play this game, you have to use American companies because, they don't even speak English in Scotland.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, they speak Scottish.
Come on. All right. What's the next one?
Okay. Simply, this is you, Pete.
Yep.
Simply role-playing. Simply role-playing.
Oh my God! You have reached out into the stars on this this go.
Hey, do me a favor, Pete. Do me a favor. Say, exterminate. Can you say that for me?
Oh God! Exterminate.
Say it again.
I'm roboting.
Yes. Say you will be exterminated.
You are exterminated.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Sorry, folks. I don't know. I won't banter.
Simply Role-Playing by Micro Tactics, a simple and customizable generic open gaming system similar to Fusion. Wow. So far, it's just the example that Pete didn't get, and no one's gotten anything yet. Okay. This one is entirely super easy. Sorry, Pete. Steve, Tribes. Tribes. Your game is Tribes.
Oh, crap. That's one I've never played. Cubicle 8.
That is incorrect, sir. Tribes is Steve Jackson Games.
All right.
Wah, wah, wah. I'm trying to load my soundboard, and it's like taking a little while. Sorry. All right, here we go. Peter, your next role-playing game is Men in Black, the role-playing game. Men in Black, the role-playing game.
How's my sound now? Is it any better?
No.
Exterminate.
Okay. Margaret Weiss.
That is incorrect, sir.
Okay.
Men in Black, the role-playing game, is a role-playing game published by West End Games in 1997. Steven.
Yeah.
This might be an easy one for you, I hope, because, yeah. Macross...
Everything you think is easy is hard.
Well, Pete is the easiest. Okay,
Go ahead.
Macross 2, the role-playing game.
Do I need to answer this? Palladium.
Hey, come on now. Role-playing game published by Palladium Games in 1993, based on the Macross 2 Mecha OVA and the Magna series. The game is structured around Palladium's universal damage system. Okay, Pete. Pete, which say is your favorite television show currently on the air this season?
Currently Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Who published the role-playing game of Thrones? The role-playing game of Thrones.
God. Another one. I should know this. It's.
By the way, there is a chance to steal if someone gives up, so.
Damn it. Cubicle 7.
That is incorrect, sir.
Steve a chance.
Steve, chance to steal?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Game of Thrones is a role-playing game produced by Guardians of Order, based on a Song of Ice and Fire fantasy series by George R. Martin. Okay.
That sucks too, because James and I were planning to do a Game of Thrones game at TotalCon this year, coming up.
Well, there you go. Steven. Conan.
Yeah.
Conan, the role-playing game. Conan, the role-playing game.
Not the module, right?
It says Conan, the role-playing game. Here's a hint. It's Conan, the role-playing game.
What was the year of publication?
Yeah, because that matters.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
2 different people published it.
Okay. 2004.
Oh, that's the recent one. That's gonna make it harder.
Oh, that's the recent one. So it's not that other one. It's the other one.
There's an older
Yeah,
one.
that does make it harder. Eden.
Incorrect, sir. Conan, the role-playing game, is a sword and sorcery British role-playing game first published in 2004 by Mongoose Publishing, mainly designed
I knew that. Damn.
by Ian Surrock and the fictional such and such and thus and such and such. Okay, next, Peter.
Yeah.
Peter Data-Lata-Lees. Okay. Again, maybe this is easy. Maybe it's hard. The Bullwinkle and Rocky role-playing party game.
What?
Hold on a sec. Steve, you know this one, don't you? You know
I
you
own
do.
it, but I don't know it.
Holy shit! I can't believe you just admitted that, but that's awesome. Okay. The Bullwinkle and Rocky role-playing party game.
Steve Jackson Games.
You are going to shit yourself when I tell you. TSR.
What?
Oh, that's right!
Oh my god.
In 1988, based on the characters and the setting of the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. But why they called it Bullwinkle and Rocky, I'll never know. All right, we got a few more. All right, you ready?
It's one of the reasons why TSR
Yes.
isn't around anymore.
Okay.
Or the old TSR.
Jesus Christ, are you guys are like totally
Yeah, I
boning.
know.
Who's got a point? One person
Steve
has a
I
point.
do.
Yeah,
Wow.
Steve has a point.
All right. Okay.
And
And you what?
I also got the half point for the beginning of the game.
No, you got to go first. I normally do so much better at this game. This sucks.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Here we go, Steve. DC Heroes.
Oh, what year? You're gonna have to tell them what year.
There's not a year in the description. DC Heroes. But I will say in the description it's out of print.
So it's the old one. Who made that one? I own that one too.
Yeah, so I will tell you, it's not related to West End Games, DC Universe.
This is a tough one because so many people have done this. There was a Batman game. It's easy to get them
I
confused.
know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Is this? I wonder if this is the system that's logarithmic.
It's so yeah, I will tell you, it's not West End Games, and it's also not anything related to Green Ronin Publishing.
Okay.
DC Adventures.
Well,
It
you
is
said
not
old,
that.
so I knew it wasn't Green Ronin. But I can't remember the name of the company. It's son of a bitch.
If you were losing at
I know
it,
this.
I'd give you a hint, but since you're not,
All right.
Peter, your chance to steal.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't. Dude, I don't know either.
Mayfair Games.
Oh,
Mayfair
yep.
Games.
That's the logarithmic one.
yeah. Okay.
All right. Jesus Christ! There is one.
We should probably end this thing, man.
Super
We're
hard.
tanking terrible.
Okay. All right. Pete.
Yeah.
Fudge. Who published Fudge?
He's going, I did when it came out my ass.
Right. Fudge. Shit. Who makes fudge? I've never even played
The
fudge.
Candyman can.
I'm doing terrible. God damn, what the hell's wrong with my brain? You know, Mike, we might not be saving this one for an episode. You know, I'm looking too bad here.
Jeez.
You blew me up too much. Fudge. Who the fuck makes fudge? Oh shit. You know, I don't know. Steve,
I don't know.
you don't know either?
I never played that game. It always looked stupid.
Jeez. All right. Fudge. Stefan O'Sullivan, who was part of the GURPS team and broke off a piece of fudge. All right, really quickly. All right, this is rapid fire time. The last few. Okay, Infernum.
Never heard of it.
Mongoose Publishing. In 2005, published in Mongoose Publishing 2005. Infernum. The Lord of the Rings role-playing game.
Iron Crown Enterprises.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's MERP.
That is the Middle Earth role-playing game.
No, but this is
The Lord of the Rings role-playing
you
game.
said Lord of the Rings role-playing game. That's a
Lord of-
recent one that came out.
Yeah. 2002. 2002.
Was that a Cubicle 7?
That is released by Decipher.
Never heard of them.
They're the people who did Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
Now, I guess the one that I just skipped because I thought it was going to be way too hard. If one of you gets this, I'm going to shit in my chair, okay? Dogs in the Vineyard. All right, good. That's good. Have you ever heard of
White
it?
Wolf.
No. Lumply Games.
You mean it's not a werewolf? It's not a werewolf one?
No.
Lumply Games?
Lumply.
What if that's
I've heard of them.
What if
No,
that's
it's-
related to Lumpy? Or
No,
Lumpy?
it's not. It's not. It's based on the history of Mormons.
Oh, God. Hey, we're going to be seeing Lumpy soon.
Yeah. Coming to a Balticon near you. All right. Well, yeah, this episode
they're
of
so
Who
good.
Pub That Shit to Bed.
You know, Mike, I really was expecting you to come up with one like Holy Racial War or something like that.
Never heard of it. But let me see. I don't even know if it's on the list. I have a list.
Okay.
I have a master list.
Hey, how about
It
next
is-
time staying a little more in stream? Some of those were that we should have gotten. Like Steve and I should have gotten a couple of those that we didn't get.
Yeah, I
it's
went.
late.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
let's
late.
wrap it up, Mike. Hey, am I still roboting?
No, you sound beautiful.
No.
Oh, good. All right, good. All right, let's kill it.
Let's kill it. Let's not.
Oh, Steve's the
end
winner.
it.
Hey, Steve's the winner. Yay.
What do I get?
You get this. You get. Oh shit! I have the wrong one open anyway. So you get you get this.
Swallow it.
Here, did you hear that?
I'm so thrilled.
He didn't hear anything.
Swallow it.
Oh.
Here, let's make that a little bit louder this time.
Swallow it.
That's what you get to do. All right.
All right. Let's run the closer.
Oh, and this.
Hey, I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul.
Nice.
Mike, I'm
Yes.
bringing the Pikachu costume every time I see you now.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I got some people I could use it on. Yeah. To apologize for this bad segment, I suggest you go to MythWits. Go to what do you call it? YouTube.com/MythWits, and just look at or just you know what? If you just Google Pikachu chooses Mike, believe it or not,
Yep.
there's only one. There's only one Pikachu chooses Mike.
Yeah,
So
it's a very
got that
popular
going
video.
for me. So watch that, and you're welcome. So all right, Peter, let's roll that.
Yes, sir.
Let's roll that closer footage. You ready?
All right. Yes. You've just enjoyed another awesome episode of the MythWits.
You've just
Special thanks
agonized.
goes out to our guests, Hans Cummings and Stephen Wallet. Make sure to check out all of Hans's books and go back Steve's Kickstarter. Join us for a live broadcast every week, Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, to catch the full show. Jump into the chat room and ask our guests questions. If you missed the live show, you can always catch the encore episodes and the podcast on our website and on iTunes. You can find our website at mythwits.com, and you can visit us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Do the like, follow, subscribe thing wherever it's appropriate. Please give us a bunch of stars and a review on iTunes, because it kind of counts a little bit, you know. MythWits is a Studio187.com production and is protected under a Creative Commons license. You can download and share it with whoever you like. Just don't change it and don't try to make money with it, as if. Make sure to check out Studio187.com for more cool stuff. Join our mailing list. Our live episodes are edited into bite-sized bits. Like this one will be 3 of them, and the last bite is
Maybe two. Maybe two.
And released on the following week. Interviews are on Mondays, Myth Bits on Wednesdays, and Game Time is on Fridays. Thanks everybody for listening. Tell your friends to tune in, and until next time.
Mom, I bet you knew that that was Decipher who did the Lord of the Rings role-playing game. So go sniff a Valium and go to bed. All right.